Hello, my name is Dr. Fran Feltner. I'm the Center of Excellence in Rural Health Director. Today I'll be talking about our project called Increasing Disaster Response Capacity in a Rural Appalachian Community, Utilizing Telehealth Communication Device Delivery by Drone. Our project consisted of many community partners. A little background. Our project was located in Confluence, Kentucky, which is a small remote community in Appalachia. It is vulnerable to repeated flooding due to geographic location at the junction of the Middle Fork of the Kentucky River and Buckhorn Lake. Residents are often stranded for extended periods of time and rely on boats as the only means of travel for obtaining food, medical care, and other essential supplies. And here is Leslie County, and here is the road into the community. Please notice the high water possible mark here on the picture. The use of drones during disaster has emerged as a method of disaster relief and management throughout the 4 stages of disaster life cycle: prevention, preparation, response, and recovery. Community health workers at Kentucky Home Place have expanded their roles in community research and are essential to the recruitment efforts that link researchers and hard-to-reach populations. In a previous study, our community health workers helped deliver personal protective equipment during the COVID-19 pandemic in a 2020 research study in Perry County. Our project goal was to identify opportunities in Confluence, Kentucky, that increase community capacity to prepare and respond to natural disasters, particularly flooding, through the utilizations of aerial drone technology, including test and simulation of deliveries of telecommunication devices. Remember on the first slide the picture that I showed you to pay attention to the sign where it says high water. At this point during flooding, you can see how high the water was in the community. Our project partners included community members, leaders, and first responders in Confluence, Kentucky, Kentucky Home Place, the Drone Port, and the UK Center of Excellence in Rural Health. Here's a picture of our Confluence project team, which involved our community health workers, our drones from USA Drone, and our community health workers here that were trained as visual observers in order to provide the drone service. Our project activities included a survey of the community members, first responders, and local government leaders of Confluence, Kentucky, to gain insight into their essential needs during natural disasters. Complete field work to include mapping and surveillance of the Confluence, Kentucky land area to identify safe launch, landing, and delivery sites for drones. Provide visual observer training to community members to increase community capacity for disaster response. Test and simulate deliveries of telecommunication devices. Evaluation of the project to document findings, outcomes, and lessons learned. Report back to the Confluence community, funder, and public on what we found. Establishing primary and alternate delivery sites. The establishment of primary and alternative delivery sites selected by the U.S. Drone Port was based upon surveys conducted, as well as safe aerial flight routes that have been tested. This lays essential groundwork for improving community capacity for disaster preparedness. Here you see one of our drones that is getting ready to deliver an iPad for telehealth communication. 4 new visual observers were trained. Visual observers were completed by 2 community health workers, a local educator, and a local banker, volunteer firefighter. Our key findings and our outcomes: improvements in community capacity for disaster relief in Confluence, Kentucky. Special waiver was requested and granted by the Federal Aviation Administration to allow flying drones beyond visual line of sight in Leslie County to conduct this project. established primary and alternate delivery sites, as well as safe aerial flight routes that have been tested, design of special devices to safely transport SmartPad. 4 individuals completed the visual observer training and participated in a drone test delivery of the SmartPad. 1 resident was living in the Confluence community. 1 was a local volunteer firefighter. 2 community health workers. 100% rated their satisfaction with the visual observer training as very satisfied, which was the highest possible rating. These findings lay essential groundwork for improving community capacity for disaster preparedness. The dissemination of our findings or our report back, we want to share with our Leslie County Physical Court on digital and social platforms, including the UK CARES website and the UK Center of Excellence in Rural Health's YouTube channel and Facebook. We will also provide the information during Appalachian Research Day, Come Sit on the Porch, which will be held April the 5th, 2023 in Paintsville, Kentucky. We want to acknowledge the Center of Appalachian Research and Environmental Services and thank them for the funding for our project that allowed us to look at the delivery of drones and the iPads to do telehealth. Thank you for funding the University of Kentucky Center for Appalachian Research and Environmental Services, a National Institute of Environmental Health Services core center established to enhance research capacity focused on major environmental health impact to air and water quality that have been impacted in environmentally induced disease. For more information, you may contact either of us, Dr. Fran Feltner. You can find me at the UK Center of Excellence in Rural Health at francis.feltner@uky.edu, or Mace Baker, the Director of Kentucky Home Place, at mace.baker@uky.edu, Bart Massey, which is the Director of the U.S. Drone Port, bart.massey@usadroneport.com, or Chris Stiles, Operations Director for the USA Drone Port, chris.stiles@usadroneport.com.